모두 wonder, and then answer. I call you her.
Can you get in the frame?
I am.
No, get in the frame.
You got it high, that's why.
Cause you have to be down. Is that better?
Yeah.
This is gonna be an adventure.
It definitely will be.
Hi guys, it's Irlane. Welcome to a new video. I look smacked right now, and that is because I am getting my hair done. We're multitasking today because my mom is very inconvenient. This is my mom.
Hi!
I asked you guys on Instagram and on YouTube to send me in questions that you are too afraid to ask your mom, and my mom is actually going to answer them.
To the best of my ability,
yeah,
of
to
course.
the best of her ability. I thought this was going to be a really fun idea, so I was like, let's do it. Disclaimer, we're not doctors. We don't have any medical certifications to give you proper advice on anything. So take this with a grain of salt. If I look tired, it's because I am, because I just woke up. But I'm cutting into the video really quick to say thank you so much to Skillshare again for sponsoring today's video. You guys know that Skillshare is the online platform by creatives for creatives with tons and tons of classes to choose from for any little thing you want to venture into. So I've already done classes on like productivity, video editing, and all that stuff. You guys have seen my other videos where I've talked about this. But this time I wanted to do something a little bit more personal because, you know, self-care, self-love is the best love. One of my like resolutions this year was to get a little better at journaling. I have shown this once on camera before, but this is my journal that I use to you know, journal. So I saw this class called Art Journaling for Self-Care by Amanda Roch Lee. It's basically bullet journaling, but she calls it art journaling, but it's like along the same lines. I never wanted to think of journaling as like a chore or something I would have to put too much effort in. I'm more the type of journaling person who just kind of writes her thoughts out, and that's basically it. But I wanted to get a little bit more creative in terms of just expressing myself in different ways next to the writing. So she kind of teaches you how to have fun with it, basically kind of like that scrapbooky type feel, whether it be doodling, adding photos, stickers, whatever, and to make it seem more like, again, an act of self-care rather than something like a chore or a project. I guess it is considered a project, but you know, a fun personal project, you feel me? The class is actually really short. It's only 6 videos or 6 lessons long, so I finished it pretty quickly. But even then, I've already started like doodling more and adding pictures to my drawings. But even if it's like the dumbest little thing, like here's this one where I'm literally just like drawing a bunch of squiggly lines and all that other stuff, because at the time that was literally how I felt. I didn't know what to write and I didn't know what else to do to express how I was feeling, so I drew that. And that's the thing, like it was really helpful because I am someone who struggles with putting their thoughts into words, so I really appreciate that she just like encourages us to also express ourselves in other ways. If not with the writing, you can do it with, you know, the doodles and the little additions just to make your journaling more personable, you know? So as usual, y'all know what to do. Remember that the first 1,000 of you to click the link in my description will get a free trial of Skillshare Premium. And even if you miss out on that, just know that Skillshare is less than $10 a month. So either way, it's a win. As I've said over and over and over again, your best investment is in yourself, and you deserve to be as creative and insightful and adventurous with the things you love. So take charge of that and take hold of it, and I hope that you guys find Skillshare as useful as I have. And thank you again to Skillshare for constantly supporting me and my channel. But back to the video. Okay. Anyway, so if you enjoyed this video already, give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, feel free to subscribe. And without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so we're gonna start off pretty light. How to properly wash your hair, since my mom never taught me.
What I've always done in the past and still doing till today, I would detangle first. Of course, get your shampoo and conditioner or whatever treatment you're putting in. We usually use the kitchen sink, but if we're gonna shower, sometimes we'll just wash it in the shower and condition, and then rinse the condition out in the kitchen sink.
That's when you wash Lee's hair though.
Yeah, because
I stopped doing that.
Massage your scalp to get all the gunk out.
Yeah, and scratch it too. If you have like, if you're someone who uses gel and stuff to get the product buildup out,
it's pretty easy.
Unless you have like a thicker hair texture.
And if it's really long too.
I'm a single mom. How do you make the baby stop crying / how do you take care of a child alone?
That comes with experience, of course. As time goes by, you will get better at doing it. I can't really tell you how to do that. Trial and error.
What did you do when we were younger to make us stop crying, besides giving us like a butt whipping? I'm just saying.
A lot of times, sometimes they'll be hungry. You just have to find out what that is and try to comfort.
I saw a thing on Pinterest that like babies cry differently when they want something.
Yeah.
So try to figure out
what the need is at that time.
Based on the cry. Now we're gonna start getting into like kind of heavier stuff. Tips on talking to guys. My mom has never had this problem because somehow she has males falling at her feet with the snap of a finger.
That I cannot really give advice on because I've never approached a guy.
Like I just said, she's showing off.
Yeah. Shut up.
I don't have any tips either because
I was never the pursuer.
I have zero game. But again, I'm not trying to flex or nothing, but if somebody wanted me, they would come to me. I wouldn't really have to go to them. If I was like gonna give a tip, like don't put on a show. Act like, yeah, don't act like somebody you're not because decide whether or not they like you.
Sorry.
You just told me to get pre-stretched.
This is the length.
Really?
Yes.
How long is
That's the whole point of getting pre-stretched. I'm gonna go change them. Come on, let's ride.
Looks like we're answering these in the car. We're continuing while we fix some issues that were experienced.
Thanks to you.
Anyway, as we were saying, just be yourself whenever you're talking to someone so that you can give them the chance to see who you really are and decide whether or not they like you. Everyone has natural charms and things that are like unique about them. Just don't be nervous. That's gonna make it awkward and uncomfortable.
Well, of course they're going to be nervous.
I'm just saying, if you are nervous, like try to control it.
Yeah, that's better.
I'd rather be like nervous and extravagant and over the top and rather than like nervous and awkward silent. How not to be paranoid of men, feeling like you're gonna be or murdered by everyone. This is a valid question.
That I don't know.
Have you never had that feeling before?
No.
I have it all the time.
Really?
Yeah, especially like when they approach you in public.
The thing is that my demeanor, people don't approach me.
Oh yeah, my mom has a killer RBF, a very uninviting aura. Her sun sign is a Gemini, for anyone who wondered. So we don't click, nor do we experience the same things at all. But I guess if I were to answer this, then you should always assume the best and the worst about someone, because sometimes that's exactly what it is. You're just paranoid, and when you're paranoid, you create scenarios in your head that probably aren't even gonna happen or like apply to the situation.
Be cautious.
Yeah, be cautious. Like you should always have your guard up, but don't always expect the worst.
Right.
Or like assume that everyone has good intentions. How is it when you lose your V card for the first time?
Painful. Keep in mind that it's something that's closed, you're trying to open up.
This is in reference to your hymen.
So dependent on the person, they can work with you where it's not as painful, but it is painful. And if the person is rough, then it will really hurt.
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the worst, how would you rate the pain?
Probably an 8.
And
7 or 8.
And I'm sure it's worse too because there are different types of hymens. Like some are more closed and open than others. So if you are someone who naturally has like a smaller hole, that's gonna probably hurt even worse and maybe in some cases bleed. What are your opinions on waiting till marriage?
Personally, I got married young. I was 19. My advice to all my kids is if the person loves you, they would wait until you're mature enough to have a better sense of what's going on and if the personalities fit, because as I got older, I came to realize that the person I married, we had absolutely nothing in common. As you get older,
you change. Like
you change. When you reach a certain age, I think it's better because certain things you're more knowledgeable about and you have a better understanding or picture of who you want to be with and your likes and dislikes.
Piggybacking off of that, when you're like a teenager and you say you want to marry as a teenager,
you're just stupid.
You think you know everything when you don't. No matter how mature you think you are for your age, everyone when they're a teenager thinks they knows everything when they do not. I'm not someone who likes to always say think about the future because you should always be like present or whatever, but when it comes to things as serious as marriage, you don't want to get yourself stuck in a situation, especially if you have kids young too, possibly face regret.
I can personally say I don't have any regret. I think it was a learning experience.
Would you go through it again?
Hell no. It would be great if you can, because that's what all parents want.
To avoid pregnancy or like for morality reasons?
Morality reasons and to avoid pregnancy. However, if you feel that you cannot wait, just make sure you use precaution and protect yourself.
Protect yourself.
No matter what he says, you know,
yeah, everyone's
you
always
look out
like,
for number one,
it's
which
not
is
gonna
you.
happen to me. I'm not gonna get pregnant. Listen, I'm sure all men's pull-out game is weak. Like I said earlier, do not put your trust in men. They're gonna set you up for failure. And when you say for morality reasons, what do you mean?
A lot of parents, you know, older generations, they don't believe in sex before marriage, and the church-going people, they don't believe in sex before marriage. That's what I mean by that.
Do you believe in like purity culture? Like you're unpure as a woman if you have sex before marriage?
Nah.
How old were you when you lost your virginity? Were you also 19?
18.
Any tips for those who think they're ready to have sex?
I would say think hard. Don't fall into peer pressure, because the guy a lot of times will tell you everything they know you want to hear just to get what they want. Just be sure that it's what you want as well, and that you're not doing it to please him or to keep him.
When you get taken advantage of in that regard and it finally clicks, it's like a really hard thing to go through, especially when it's something as personal as your body.
And it's not something you can ever take back.
Yeah, it's not something you can get back. And I know virginity is like a social construct or anything, but I think we can all agree that the idea of having sex with someone and kind of like opening yourself up to someone like
very
that,
intimate.
it's extremely intimate. And you don't want to give that to just anybody and let someone take advantage of it.
I agree.
If the person does not give you a clear yes, then that's a no. Anything I should ask my significant other before being sexually active?
Yes, go get tested. I want to see the papers.
Especially if they've had sex before.
Yes.
Like if they're not a virgin.
You want to see proof that he's negative of everything.
I'll finish this later. Alright. Anyways, while she's doing that, there's this bad stigma about people who go get tested. If you go get tested, that doesn't mean you think you have something. It's just you being like a conscious person of your sexual activity. Like, 'cause at the end of the day, like me and my mom said, you want to keep yourself safe, because these STDs, they're not a joke, okay? You know, especially if you get something that's like not curable, or it's something even worse like HIV or AIDS. Please be mindful, please be careful, please go get tested. What age do you think teens should start dating?
I would say 17.
Why?
I think 16 there's a maturity issue, and 17 I think they have a better understanding of responsibility to a certain extent.
And you've seen that as a trend in all of us?
Yeah, so I think 17 is a decent age.
If a teenager felt ready for sex, what age do you think would be appropriate?
18, 19.
That's fair, because you are
younger,
legal by
yeah,
then.
yeah.
What general age or time period do you think is appropriate for having sex responsibly?
I would say around 19 and 20, because again, that by then you've probably dated and you know somewhat of the do's and don'ts, and you kind of have a better understanding of who's trying to get in your pants and who's really, you know, sincere about their feelings towards you.
How do you shave down there, and tips for vaginal health?
I use Nair.
Because my mom doesn't shave, I'm just gonna go ahead and give you my shaving tips if you don't want to use hair removal cream. So a lot of people tell you to shave down instead of up, but you should shave sideways or diagonal. That'll, one, be less painful, and two, you won't be tugging on the hair as much versus if you were to just you don't get bumps. A lot of people tell you to use conditioner, coconut oil. You're fine with just regular bar soap, unscented obviously. Make sure when you're done shaving, I go commando for the night, because if you wear underwear, or especially if it's like tight, it'll irritate it and cause bumps. Soothe it so you don't get bumps, or like aloe vera or something like that, whatever you want to use. But yeah, it's not hard or painful. It's just if you do it very wrong, it's gonna be so uncomfortable. I remember the first time I did it and I was like itching and flaking like crazy. It was the worst. I've never gotten a wax. Have you gotten a wax?
No, but I've heard it's painful.
Yeah. And then do you have any tips for good vaginal health?
Make sure you wash up, and wash up good.
I have a tip. You are what you eat. I've noticed when I eat healthier, I don't have much of an odor. The junkier I eat, the more I smell, and also the more I like discharge, and the discharge is smelly. So try to eat as healthy as you can. Drink a lot of water and a lot of like foods that are high in estrogen to help you with your vaginal health. Birth control experience. Have you taken birth control?
Yeah. It was a horrible experience because I blew up. It's just, I just gained an enormous amount of weight.
Was it really fast?
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
I mean, there's different ones.
What did you have, the pill?
I had the pill. It didn't go well with me. Like I said, I gained an enormous amount of weight, so I stopped. So much different types now that you can try different ones and see what works best for you.
I've heard a lot of bad things about the IUD thing.
IUD, yeah. It makes you discharge.
Oh, so.
And you get infections. It's like you have a period, a very light period that never goes away.
Oh no.
And it smells horribly.
With the IUD? Birth control is super personable. I know you can get like birth control online and stuff, but
really?
if you put, yeah, it's good that it's accessible, but now people are just doing it without actually going to a doctor.
That's
so I
bad.
think it's really important that you please go to a doctor and talk to someone about that, rather than just taking a cute little quiz online. And
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, and then recommending you the first thing. Where can you go to get birth control?
Your doctors.
Yeah, like we just said, doctors, and you can get them online, but talk to your doctor before you talk about getting them online.
Yeah, always go
yeah.
to your doctor.
How should I ask my mom to get on birth control?
Just sit her down and talk to her.
But if I was like, Mommy, I want to get on birth control.
Here's the thing, as a parent, once your child comes to you and say, I want birth control, automatic, there's like a light that goes on in your head that's like, oh, she's gonna have sex.
Exactly. But not everyone wants to get on birth control.
Yeah, but as you have to see it from our perspective. Here's my thing. You're not having sex. You have no intentions of having sex in the near future. You should need birth control. That's a parent perspective.
What about for the people who have like a really intense period and doctors recommend to get
Sometimes they do recommend that for hormones. Yeah, then that's something your doctor will talk to your mom about.
But what if I was telling you that?
Well, I'm sure she would probably follow up with the doctor as well and see if it's necessary or needed, because is on birth controls for hormones.
Would you be mad if I came to you asking for birth control?
I would want to know why. You know why? It's birth control.
Okay, but here's the thing. Would you rather me be scared to talk to you about getting on birth control, or have me go out have sex with you?
No. Here's the thing. If you have crazy hormones, like has facial hair and stuff, so she needs the birth control to control her hormone. That's different. But my thing is, if you're not going to have sex anywhere anytime in the near future, and as far as I'm concerned, you're not dating anyone, what the hell you need birth controls for? That's what your parent, that's if you go to your mom, that's exactly what she's going to think. What the hell do you need birth control for?
How should she go about doing it?
Sit her down and talk to her.
What if she blows up?
Try to make her understand.
What if it doesn't get through her?
I don't know.
In that case, I would say if you have a sister or an aunt or someone else that you could talk to that would be more willing to help, I would say go to them, if not your mom.
Always try to talk to your mom first. Try to make her understand and see your point of view. Because you have to always remember that your mom will always have her mom guard up about certain subjects. And it's up to you to break it down slowly so she can understand.
You should make a PowerPoint presentation.
Shut up.
I did that to Daddy once to let me go over to Addie's house, and it worked. What would you do if I came out to you as anything besides like straight or heterosexual? Would you accept me and love me?
Absolutely. And that's where unconditional love comes in. I may not like what you do, but I will respect it because that's what you want, and I will love you regardless.
Okay, we're gonna move this inside because we're home now. See you in the next clip. Look at this, it's gonna autofocus. I'm so happy I got this. How do you think my religious parents would feel if I came out?
Oh boy, I don't think there's a right way or a wrong way. Just sit them down and try to talk to them.
I think one of the most important things when it comes to like coming out is to think about your safety at the end of the day.
Yeah.
You hear so many
because you don't know what the reaction's going to be.
Yeah, you hear so many stories of kids like being kicked out and all this stuff.
Yeah, you have to be prepared.
If the odds are not in your favor and you're not prepared, for the odds to not be in your favor, then frankly I would just say wait until they are, or until you're like ready to move out and be on your own. This one's funny. Is marriage worth it?
Of course it is.
What do you think is the biggest difference between the married life and the single life?
You know, you have someone, well, hopefully if you do get married, that's what you get. That's someone that will always be there for you. Being single, I said, God forbid something happen, you're ill, you don't have anyone to care for you, where if you have a partner, they would care for you. At least I hope they would.
Yeah, you gotta pick your poison.
Yeah. And that's the whole point of having a companion. Marriage is more like a companion, a partnership.
A legal one.
Yeah. When you're down, that other person's supposed to step in and be there for you.
I already told you that I'm like scared of marriage. I think the thing that scares people away from marriage is the legality of it. Like it's like a
don't think of it. Yeah, don't think of it that way. Because
some people just want to have like a partnership or a companionship that would, I guess, technically be considered a marriage just without the paper. I have a problem with commitment. Because it seems like I'm signing my life away to someone else. Even though I know that's not the case, it's just like, it's very intense. When do you think it is the right time to get married and have kids?
When you feel you're ready. No one can determine that for you.
I agree. Like she said earlier, just don't feel like peer pressured and stuff to do it, because I know family members will be like,
oh, you're this old and why aren't you married yet? It's not your life.
Yeah. So
it's not
just
your
like
life.
focus on you, even though it's easier said than done.
It's better to wait and get married than to get married and get a divorce.
Yeah. How to make an ex regret losing you. Success.
Yes.
People hate to see you happy after you leave them.
That you make it.
People hate to see you doing good for yourself, especially if they think like
everything you had was because of me, and
like,
you can't do no better without me.
That is the best way to make someone.
They will die.
So whatever that is for you, I mean, make sure it is for you, but you know, whatever that is,
do it.
That'll get their blood boiling. Do you think it's okay for a girl to have more than one close guy friend? I think if those close guy friends are genuinely your friend and it's platonic, like if there's no romance into it, then I think that's fine.
The only thing with that is that if you at some point get into a relationship, it may cause an issue.
But make sure you lay the groundwork to avoid those issues. Like if it really is just a solely platonic relationship with those friends, especially if you've been friends with them for a long time, like just make sure you let your partner know what's going on and all that stuff. The best relationship advice you could give in general.
Follow your heart, but take your head with you at all times, because a lot of times if you follow your heart, it would lead you in destruction. So you always take your head. That's when you try to level.
It's like for rational decisions.
Yes. I mean, be open-minded. It's not all about looks at times. Do what makes you happy.
Communication is really key. People are scared to talk about things. If you don't let people know what's going on with you, they can't help you or know how to like fix a problem if there is a problem.
I agree, but sometimes even talking don't work.
That's just like the person at that point. But if you don't make the step to like let yourself be known, that was something my 3rd grade teacher would always say, like a closed mouth doesn't get fed.
Yes,
so if you don't say anything, you can't blame them for like turning things out of proportion. Do you think I treated you differently after I came of age?
Yes, there is no age. It just happens.
When did I come of age?
Senior year.
How so?
It's just that you started seeing things differently. Started behaving differently.
I did.
I
really did. I mean, I would have never thought that just 1 year can make such a big difference.
Of course, it's maturity.
But and even now, I think I'm a completely different person than I was. How did I treat you differently?
We used to bump heads a lot.
Like I said earlier.
Shut up.
We didn't talk either.
We didn't understand each other's roles and ways. And my thing is, when I'm frustrated or I'm going through something, I kind of shut down and isolate myself. So I was going through a lot, so I kind of isolated myself. Our communication wasn't the best. It was just so much going on to the point where I didn't really focus on that.
And that's that thing I was telling you the other day. Like, I think during that time specifically, you know how I said you're like not really emotionally available like that? You were especially not emotionally available at a time where I really wish you were. I just didn't gravitate towards you because I'm like, why would I even come to you if you don't even want to like listen to me?
But now I think our relationship is great.
We definitely talk a lot more. Still lacking on the emotion, but you've gotten better. You got better! I wish you were better though.
The thing is that certain things I can't give you advice on because I haven't been there.
And I know that.
And it's like, you're talking to me, I'm listening, but I don't know what to say.
I want you to like hear me and try to understand.
I do hear you.
But you don't understand.
Because I don't understand, because I try to put myself in the scenario to see, well, maybe, and I don't know what to say.
Like, of course, I'm not looking for advice, especially if it's something you've never been through, but I just want someone to listen and to hear me and understand me. That's the thing that I lack from you and Daddy. Like, y'all don't understand me, and that's why I feel like the disconnect happens and why I never felt inclined to come to you guys about things. I mean, thank you for the hug. I appreciate that, but like, I just want you to see where I'm coming from, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, what piece of advice would you give to yourself at my current age? So what would you say to 19-year-old mother?
To be really honest, is as long as you focus on your goals in life and you have a set career, the sky's the limit. You don't need anyone to depend on. You don't need a guy to support you financially. You don't have to put up with crap from anyone because you know you got it.
Okay, this one's funny. Does life actually get better after high school?
Hell Hell no. Shit. No.
Why?
Well, if you ask them from an adult perspective, it does not, because you gotta pay bills.
Yeah.
I remember the other day, Alex was like, man, I'll give anything to go back. You don't have anything to worry about.
You have responsibility in high school.
It's not the same.
Yeah, it's different. I wouldn't say it gets exponentially better either. I think you're just gonna kind of ride the wave. You're gonna feel a lot of anxiety and fear about the
thing
future.
Is that after high school, you're starting real life.
With no knowledge prior. So they're just kind of throwing you
have to wing
to the sharks.
Yeah.
I just say, take it day by day. It happens to the best. How to maintain good self-esteem, body image, mental health, etc.
As long as you know who you are as a person, no one can tell you no different. And that's how they will see you. Walk with confidence, people will see you that way. But if you walk as if you have insecurities, they're going to look at you that way as well. There's things we all want to change about ourselves, but the outsiders don't need to know that.
You're kind of like a product of the awareness of your thoughts. So if you are able to train yourself to know that you are a confident person and you're like a beautiful human being and all this other stuff in any aspect, not just physical, but like just like how you treat people, your personality and all that, it'll all come out into fruition in reality as well. As for mental health, again, I think it's just that importance of checking in on yourself, especially if you're a go type of person and you don't ever really take breaks. I tell this to her all the time because she does not acknowledge her problems at all. Like she just said, whenever she's upset, she kind of closes herself off, and that's not good. Like, you shouldn't close yourself off to your own problems if you're having anything wrong up in here. Be present with yourself and always check in on yourself, because once you neglect yourself, everything starts going downhill. Should I be concerned with body image and looks as a 13-year-old?
No.
You shouldn't, because you're not going to look like that forever. You're literally going through puberty, so just let nature take its course. My mom has trust issues and trying to control my life. How do I deal with it and mend my relationship with her?
Have you done anything in the past to create those trust issues? That's the first thing.
In the situation that they didn't, how would she deal with it?
I mean, just try to gain your mother's trust again. Let her know that, you know, she can trust you. You're not doing anything. You have to build that trust again.
How to deal with a toxic mother?
In a way, my mom was toxic, and the best way I dealt with it was by ignoring her. But I'm not telling you to do that.
I mean, no, but that's not inherently a bad thing, though, because sometimes you do need a love from a distance. Sometimes.
No, I'm not telling you to do that. That's just how I dealt with mine.
I don't think that's a bad idea, though. You don't want to constantly interact with something that is so toxic like that and drags the energy out of you.
It's sort of like I just closed her out sometimes and just did me.
Pick and choose how you want to use your energy with them. Yeah. As your daughter, would you encourage me to live my life on the same path you did?
No,
I wouldn't want to either. Okay, these are some fun questions real quick before this thing dies. Do you have any pet peeves?
Yes, people that choose loud.
Have you ever done drugs or smoked?
No.
What is your favorite memory with me?
The day she was born.
Okay, another one. Another one. That's lame.
When we went cruising together.
You were getting on my nerves on that cruise. She would be so
it's
bossy.
You take so long.
Like, okay, come on, y'all need to go. Y'all like, I don't like people like that. Like, you just need to chill. We're on vacation. Do you have a favorite child?
No.
Do you have a preference?
No.
She's just saying that for the camera. It's actually me.
Get your head down.
Someone said, not a question, but tell your mom I said thanks for birthing such a beautiful human being.
Oh, that is so sweet. Thank you.
Blueberry Scone, we're very thankful to you. I love how this was going to be doing braids, but we got 3 braids done. Thank you guys for sending in questions. If you ever want to participate in something like this ever again, always check my YouTube community post and follow me on Instagram, because that is usually where I get the data questions, whatever, for videos like this. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're new, what's up? My name is Irlane. She's not always on this channel, but I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. I'm 19 years old, and I would really appreciate if you would subscribe. Again, give this video a thumbs up. Thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring my videos, keeping the lights on in this house. I appreciate it so much. And as usual, click the first link in the description, because the first 1,000 of you are gonna get a free Skillshare premium membership trial. I love you, and I'll see you in my next video.
Bye.
Bye. That was good, mommy. I thought you were gonna be awkward on camera.